Hi there. You could probably figure out where I am right now. Yeah, I'm in sort of a place that could be any town USA or any town world, right? Well, yeah, I'm in a hotel room. And let's talk about some of the geographical considerations that come to mind when you're on travel and when you're in a hotel room. Okay, so can we determine where this hotel is? Just based on the raw materials that are here, based on the furniture, based on the layout of the room? Well, that would be kind of difficult, but one good clue is to go outside, right, or even look outside and see where this thing could possibly be. So are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'm seeing some palm trees and a couple of citrus trees and some fairly lush vegetation. That helps me get a clue as to where this might be. Well, what are the other spatial thinking considerations that come to mind when you're on travel? Well, another thing that I often think about is the layout of a hotel. So take a look at this map that's usually posted on the insides of the door, so you can have emergency information about how to get out of here. But take a look at this map indicating the layout. Now I wonder, are all of the hotels in this particular chain laid out like this, or did they happen to squeeze it onto the lot that I'm on right now because maybe the lot had a certain kind of a shape? And also, related to that, where is this particular hotel located, and other hotels? So in this particular case, you saw out that one window. Out the other window is a freeway. Why would that be? Why do they put these hotels near freeways? Well, that has to do with easy on, easy off access, and the fact that most people that come to these places, in this particular case, and in others, they're driving, so they want to be near freeways and things like that. Also, proximity to airports. And speaking of proximity of freeways and airports and local land use and zoning laws that allow hotels to be located where they are, ooh, what about this? I bet they used a geographic information system to figure all that stuff out, right? They have a local, regional, and maybe national demography in there, population, travel habits, proximity to airports and freeways, zoning, competition, right? Where are their competition properties located? Where are their existing properties in their same hotel chain located? All these things have to do with geography and spatial thinking. Let's just chat about a few more, and then I'll let you go. But another thing that comes to mind is this. Think about the consumption of natural resources. There's a lot of studies done about how hotels and people that travel, they're making a big imprint on the planet. And so I just challenge you and challenge myself to consume as little as possible to sort of buck that trend. So, for example, if everybody consumed several of these little soap containers and shampoos and stuff like that every night, that would be a huge imprint, a huge impact, because we're talking about thousands, millions, billions of these things by all of the travelers all over the world per year. So what I do is I've got my own. I've got these little containers, or I've got my own lotion and shampoo and stuff like that, and then I can refill those. That's the point, is I can refill that stuff. And so I'm not consuming a little bottle every time I wash my hair. I've got to stay, looking good. Anyway, another thing that I challenge you to think about is sheets and towels. A lot of hotels have cards that you can leave saying, "I don't want my sheets to be and my towels to be washed every day." I mean, if we all did that, it makes a huge difference. So, and then another thing that is kind of behind the scenes but really important is water, right? How much water are you consuming every day in a hotel, or even when you're at home? But water is a huge importance to our world, isn't it? So it's a precious resource that not everybody in the world has access to. So we need to conserve it as best we can. Okay, I also think about raw materials and economies of scale. So, for example, when I'm in a hotel, which is probably part of a larger chain, right? This bed, that piece of furniture over there, that lamp, that lighting fixture, it's not handmade by someone in their garage, right? First of all, they need bunches of these, like hundreds, thousands of these things for this particular hotel chain. So where are all these things made? I also think about the distribution system in terms of how did they get here to this particular location? Does this hotel chain have their own vehicle fleet or something like that they take to these places, or what? So I think about that as well. Also, the other thing I think about is if I were to figure out, based on the ledger up at the front desk downstairs, or just like if I had some sort of camera in here, that I could figure out who stayed here, who sat in this couch, on this couch before me, and who slept in that bed over there, before I did, and all throughout the year, and then next year, do the patterns change? Do they get wider in terms of distribution around the world? They get narrower in focus? What does the local economy or the regional or national economy have to do with travel and on the distribution of people coming to this particular hotel? What about other chains? What about other hotels in this area? Do they attract a more international clientele? That type of thing. So if I were to track who stays here and who's actually staying here right now, it'd be really fascinating to be able to map that, wouldn't it? Now, my particular organization has about 30 people staying here this week. So we're from all over the country. And there's even a couple of international people here too. So even to map out my own organization and how they stay at this particular hotel, and then people in my own organization and where they travel each year, that would be fascinating too. Okay, so there's lots we can think about in terms of that. Now, another thing we can think about is the hotel employees themselves. Do they have some sort of business degree to be able to work here? What impact are they making on the local economy? Where do they live, and how far do they commute to work here at this hotel? Just a couple more things and I'll let you go. But in terms of spatial thinking, we also think about community impacts of hotels and the surrounding businesses that seem to sprout up around hotels, like restaurants and gas stations and things like that. So why aren't hotels allowed to just plop anywhere, like in an industrial area or maybe a residential area? There are certain zoning laws that kind of isolate hotels into certain parts of the community, and for good reason, right? That makes sense that you don't have a motel right next door to your house, that type of thing. Although there are some communities, as you probably know, that really don't have much in the way of zoning, or they're very loose on the zoning. But most communities restrict hotels and motels into certain parts of the community. Interesting. Okay, so those are just a couple of things that come to mind in terms of spatial thinking, hotels, tourism, and geography. So I like to think about these things. Maybe one reason is because I grew up in a motel, actually. My parents ran it, and so I was one of those people that was actually stationary while people came and went. So I met people from the north, south, east, and west as they came and visited our motel. And that fostered my love of geography, of travel, of meeting people, hearing about new places and things. So awesome. We all have our own journey, don't we? Okay, so these are just a couple of things that come to mind. Spatial thinking in hotels. Thanks for being here. See ya.